I want you to watch what's happening on this screen very carefully, because what you're looking at is nothing less than the future of cancer treatment, a future that's a lot closer than you may think. What you're seeing right now is cancer cells that are literally exploding from within. But this isn't happening because of some new chemo drug or radiation therapy. It's happening because of gold. To bring your attention to the two objects I'm holding, because both of them could soon radically change your life for the better. Now, one of them could save your life. The other could make you at least 100 times richer. So let's start with the object here in my right hand. As you can see, it's a small glass vial of reddish colored fluid. Believe it or not, this is actually a solution of pure gold nanoparticles. In other words, microscopic spheres of gold that are so tiny, a single drop of this solution could hold trillions of them. The reason this liquid appears red is because when gold particles are this small, they actually reflect visible light on the red wavelengths instead of the yellow part of the spectrum. Now I'm showing you this solution because according to our resident medical and technology expert, whom you'll meet shortly, gold nanoparticles like these are the key to a radical new cancer protocol that's about to take mainstream medicine by storm. If he's right yet again, and as you'll see in a moment, he usually is, starting in 2017, this new gold protocol is going to revolutionize the way cancer is both diagnosed and treated in the United States, and soon after, everywhere in the world. Because of this new gold protocol, doctors will be able to detect cancer earlier, diagnose it with unprecedented accuracy, destroy malignant cells non-surgically, and give cancer patients a quantum leap in overall survivability. Now imagine it. Millions of cancer sufferers who'd ordinarily be doomed to slow, agonizing deaths could instead find themselves quickly and completely cured by the new gold-based oncology protocol I'm about to show you. Without chemotherapy or radiation, without going under the knife, without drug side effects, and all at a fraction of the cost of today's hit or miss oncology. I know this all sounds like a pipe dream, but as I'm about to prove to you, it's 100% real, and soon everyone will know it. I can say that with complete certainty because our expert has been carefully tracking this gold-based technology for years now, cancer-focused institutions. And most importantly, through the FDA approval process, we predict will push this new gold protocol onto the mainstream's radar this year. That's why I put this bulletin together, in fact, to make sure you're ready for that. Because there's something else that could go hand in hand with this new protocol's incredible benefits to humanity, incredible profits for you. As with other recent medical game changers, like antiretroviral drugs, genome mapping, DNA editing, and more, the rapid transition to this new cancer protocol is going to make investors who move fast and play it right extremely rich. And that's what brings me to the object in my left hand. As you can see, it's an ordinary flash drive for a personal computer. But as you'll discover in more detail momentarily, the information on this flash drive is the farthest thing from ordinary. It contains all of our experts' research on a company that's about to commercialize the first and most important part of this new gold protocol for cancer. Right now, this American company is 98% smaller than the big players in its sector. But that's not going to be the case for much longer, I promise you. Because starting with an FDA action that's slated for the first quarter of 2017, this company's patented nanogold technology is going to catapult them to the forefront of the global cancer markets worth over $120 billion a year. That's more than the annual GDP of 70% of the world's countries. After seeing all the facts myself, compiled by our own renowned expert, I fully expect investors who get in on this company right now to see medium-term profits of at least 10,000% and very likely much, much more. Put another way, that's a profit potential of 100 times your money over the next 10 years. On the low end. Again, you'll get all the research we use to make this projection, plus our full investment profile on this company right here on this flash drive. It contains all the information you need to get in on this incredible profit opportunity. And in just a moment, I'll show you how you can get it for free. First though, I want to show you just how world-changing we expect you could realistically make here. As you may already know, Agora Financial is considered by many to be among the world's foremost experts on gold and gold-related profit opportunities.
In 2016 alone, for instance, our publications issued gold recommendations that could have scored readers optimum returns of 138%, 126%, 152%, 118%, 154%, 167%. And these are just a few of them. I could quote you dozens more big gold winners we've nailed for our readers over the past 20 years. But they're all minuscule next to the profit potential of the emerging opportunity I'm about to show you. Why? Because so far in history, virtually every single gold-related investment that's ever been recommended by anyone has revolved around the metal's role as a form of money, as a global fiscal instrument, investment hedge, long-term store of value, etc. But even though monetary gold has been crucial to the economic, financial, and commercial arenas for nearly 3,000 years, gold's greatest value to the world will soon prove to be as a form of medicine. That's because, as you're about to see with facts, photos, and hard numbers, the new gold protocol I've been talking about is set to become a global game changer for cancer diagnosis and treatment starting in 2017. Millions of lives will be saved as gold assumes its true destiny as a global healer. But only a handful of investors will make the biggest money on it. The ones who get into position before this untold story hits the mainstream's radar. What do I mean by the biggest money? Well, since nothing even approaching this incredible new gold protocol has ever been seen before, it's impossible to say exactly how much you could make by investing early in well-positioned companies like the one I'm about to show you. I mean, we're talking about the holy grail of medicine, a potential cure for cancer for all intents and purposes. This is uncharted territory, and the profits could literally be unprecedented. However, based solely on the gains that other companies with game-changer medical technologies have consistently posted, it's totally realistic to expect returns of 100 times your money, at least. For proof of that, let's examine a few stock charts. First, take a look at global HIV drug leader Gilead Sciences. Ever since Gilead first entered the market for HIV-related medications, they've steadily become the global leader in antiretroviral drug therapy, which has turned AIDS from a death sentence into a survivable condition, even a relatively easily managed one. Today, over 70% of those being treated for HIV in Africa and the rest of the developing world are taking Gilead's antiviral drugs. And investors who saw all of this coming for Gilead had the chance to score returns of 10,113%. Just over 101 times their money, in other words. Next, consider the case of gene sequencing pioneer Illumina Incorporated. With the introduction of their revolutionary BeadStation 500G desktop genotyping system in 2004, Illumina began a steady rise to global dominance in human genetic analysis systems. By 2014, they controlled 70% of the market for DNA analysis machines. Investors who saw the writing on the wall for this company could have pocketed gains of 11,103%, or just over 111 times their money. Now take a look at one more example, Medivation Incorporated. Their unique drug for one particularly hard-to-treat type of cancer has shown up to a 30% reduction in risk of death in some treatment groups. And before their acquisition by Pfizer, in September of 2016, Medivation had booked early investors more than 110 times their money, 11,056% to be exact. Are you starting to see the pattern here? Good companies with true medical innovations, not simply minor improvements on existing technology, consistently tend to post medium-term gains in excess of 10,000%. Again, that means investors who bought in early could have gotten over 100 times richer on each of these companies. The catch, as with any investment opportunity, is that it's also possible you may not see profits this high. As much as what I'm about to show you might seem like a can't-lose proposition, there is an element of risk in all investing. And of course, there's no such thing as guaranteed profits in the investing world. The flip side is that these game-changer profit opportunities don't come rolling down the pike every day. And according to our renowned medical and tech expert, whom you'll meet in just a moment, today is one of those days. That's because this small American company is about to roll out the most important part of this gold protocol, so you must hurry. To be clear, it's not just one company that we predict will positively explode on the new generation of gold-based medicine. It's going to be dozens of them over a period of several years, each one with the possibility of scoring you enormous returns in its own right. And don't worry, I'm going to show you a way to potentially cash in on all these coming gold protocol players in just a moment. But as I touched on earlier, the company I want you to discover how to get in on now has the biggest, fastest, and most assured profit potential of them all. Remember, I'm explicitly predicting that you'll make at least 10,000% on this company if you get into them immediately, before they hit the mainstream investment radar in the first quarter of 2017. And more on this in just a moment. How can I be so sure that you've got a realistic chance to make at least 100 times your money on this stock over the next 10 years? I'm sure because no cancer treatment of any kind can occur without the critical medical function this company specializes in. And because their new gold-based technology represents a quantum leap in this crucial part of the process, I'll walk you through this shortly, oncology industry. Again, that's more than the GDP of 70% of the world's nations. And just to lend some more perspective to that number, the gene sequencing market, which propelled Illumina to 11,103% gains, is worth around $7 billion a year. The global HIV drug market, which helped to catapult Gilead Sciences to 10,113% returns, is worth $14 billion yearly. The worldwide market for prostate cancer drugs, which spurred Medivation to 11,056% returns, is worth $18 billion annually. Do the math, and you'll see that even combined, all these major markets are less than a third of the size of the global oncology mega market. These numbers make it easy to see the potential you could actually make on the first superstar company of this new gold protocol. Don't believe me on that one? I promise you will in less than 5 minutes, beyond any shadow of a doubt. Let me show you why right now. Earlier, you saw this video of cancer cells exploding from within. The footage shows malignant cells being destroyed by their interaction with gold nanoparticles. Now, I'm going to walk you through exactly how this happens momentarily. But as I do that, it's important for you to keep in mind that this is only one aspect of this gold-based oncology protocol that I'm telling you about. Now let me quickly show you what I mean. Oncology, the science of detecting and treating cancer, is currently made up of two distinct parts: diagnostic and therapeutic. Now right now, the oncology world looks sort of like this. There's a set of diagnostic tools and technologies, and then there's a completely separate set of therapeutic techniques. The thing is, even when working together at the very best, they're still not very effective at curing cancer. Even in some of the most advanced parts of the westernized world, the overall 10-year cancer survival rate is still only around 50%. But all that could change under this new gold protocol for cancer, which could potentially make cancer up to 96% survivable in the future. As you can see, this new protocol encompasses both diagnostics and therapeutics in one cohesive new form of oncology that could soon push conventional technologies to the margins of medicine. And the glue that holds all of this protocol's existing new technologies together? Those microscopic miracles that I showed you earlier, gold nanoparticles. The truth is, it would take several books to cover all the ways in which the oncologists will soon be able to fight and beat cancer with gold. And that's the best part. Aside from potentially being able to cure cancer, the fact that all of these gold-related technologies, things with crazy new names like PNB nanosurgery, microfluidic diagnostics, theranostic nanomedicine, and so many more, will bring with them opportunities for incredible profits as they're developed and brought to market by cutting-edge companies. Take that amazing video that you just saw of the exploding cancer cells, for instance. The truth is, you could potentially score several huge market wins from just this one therapeutic aspect of the gold protocol alone. You'll see how that's possible as I walk you through exactly how gold can blow up cancer cells from within. But basically, and this is greatly simplified, it works like this. Upon a diagnosis of cancer, which we're going to talk more about in just a moment, gold nanoparticles are then injected into the patient's bloodstream. However, before they're injected, These particles are coated with proteins or antibodies that have a chemical affinity for the type of cancer the patient is suffering from. This allows them to hone in on cancer cells in the patient's body. In fact, in this enhanced electron microscope photo, you can actually see gold nanoparticles clustered on the outside of a cancer cell. Once these particles attach themselves to the outside of these cancer cells, they can be absorbed by those cells in a process called endocytosis. And once a substantial number of gold nanoparticles infiltrate a cancer cell, they can then be turned into the oncological equivalent of suicide bombers. This occurs with the application of a specific type of tissue-penetrating pulse laser light. Because of gold's unique ability to absorb and scatter this light through a process called surface plasmon resonance, the particles inside these cancer cells oscillate and heat up, causing those cells to self-destruct like this. The end result is an incredibly effective new cancer therapy that's up to 17 times more effective than conventional treatments, that kills cancer cells without damaging healthy cells or tissue, that can destroy tumors surgery can't get to or didn't entirely remove, and that can eliminate aggressive forms of cancer that chemo and radiation can't defeat. In laboratory animal tests, this form of gold nanotherapy proved 100% effective at eradicating post-surgical residual cancer. In fact, it can find and destroy cancer in concentrations as low as 3 cells. Small-scale experimental tests of this therapy on humans with head, neck, and lung cancers showed similarly promising results, both for post-surgical cancer cleanup and for destroying full tumors without surgery of any kind. Needless to say, this one aspect of the new gold protocol alone could dramatically improve the odds of survival for cancer patients. And again, it's a lot closer to becoming mainstream than you may think. According to numerous sources, large-scale human clinical trials of this gold-based treatment could begin within 2 years. What's all this mean to you, aside from perhaps soon saving your life? It means that the quote-unquote mainstreaming of this technology will no doubt lead to multiple huge profit opportunities if you get in early on the right plays. Just a few of these potentially enormous winners could include companies that create more specialized gold particles, like the promising new nanorods, nanocages, and nanoshells, invent new proteins, antibodies, and ligands for guiding gold particles to specific types of cancer in the body, develop even more effective ways for gold nanoparticles to become absorbed in cancer cells and tumors, perfect the near-infrared laser light technology for penetrating human tissue to target cancer cells, and so much more. And remember, what I've just shown you is only one part of the gold protocol. Also coming down the pike in this exciting new age of oncology are gold-based technologies for enhanced uptake and biodistribution of conventional cancer drugs, improved detection of small, hidden, or deeply buried tumors, boosting the safe dosing potential of conventional radiation therapy, increasing the effectiveness of new high-tech genetic cancer therapies, and potentially a huge lifesaver and moneymaker is a technology that ushers gold nanoparticles directly into the nuclei of cancer cells, thereby killing them by preventing the cellular division that makes tumors grow. Therapies will give oncologists the tool they need to stop or cure virtually any case of cancer that can be detected before its most advanced stages: brain, bone, testicular, prostate, breast, pancreatic, colon, ovarian, you name it. And that's what brings us to the 10,000% potential profit opportunity that I've been telling you about. Because one small American company is about to roll out the most important part of this new gold protocol for cancer, a device that could make earlier cancer detection a painless 10-minute affair at your GP's office with up to 96% accuracy. The protocol in the near future, cancer itself could soon be up to 96% survivable. This small company will be your biggest gold protocol winner of them all if you move fast. Any oncologist will tell you they can't cure cancer they don't know is there. And the best odds of curing cancer by far are when it's caught early. But that's the real trick these days, because current methods of cancer detection result in misdiagnosis or underdiagnosis up to 44% of the time. That's why this company's new system is such a game changer. Because starting in 2017, it will totally revolutionize the way cancer is diagnosed, allowing doctors to detect aggressive cancer years sooner than conventional methods, determine its degree of malignancy with much greater certainty, avoid unnecessary biopsies and surgeries, more on this in a moment, reduce the number of false positives and false negatives, render test results in minutes instead of weeks, slash diagnostic costs and treatment costs via earlier detection. These are the reasons why this company's incredible new diagnostic device is arguably the most important part of the GOLD protocol. Because catching cancer when it's a handful of cells instead of a full-blown tumor could save millions of lives and many billions of dollars in treatment costs. The core of the innovation is this company's proprietary type of microfluidics. In scientific circles, microfluidics is a field that blends chemistry, engineering, physics, and other disciplines to manipulate and process various types of fluids on a nanoscale. Believe it or not, this technology is similar to what enables inkjet printers to work, and what the company I'm talking about has developed is a way to use microfluidics in combination with gold nanoparticles to create a dirt-cheap, completely portable, yet extremely accurate and reliable system of disease detection. The first part of the device is this disposable polymer cassette, which only costs about $1 to make. On this credit card-sized cassette are a series of tiny channels like little rivers. As it winds through these channels, a patient's blood or other bodily fluids mixes with gold nanoparticles, particles that have been impregnated with specific antibodies that target whatever disease is being screened for, like specific varieties of cancer, for instance. Now, during the test, which only takes about 10 minutes, these gold-laced antibodies seek and bind to disease proteins in the blood sample. Other channels in the cassette then add chemical reagents to the mix. This renders the gold particles visible to the second part of the device, a special desktop scanning unit which computes and displays a diagnostic result. The whole process is extremely fast, straightforward, and simple. Yet it is proven to be as accurate in detecting disease as the best labs in existence, up to 96% accurate in field tests, in fact. Through this device, patients will be able to get on-the-spot results at a fraction of the cost of traditional laboratory diagnostics. But there's more to this opportunity than simply advancements in the speed, cost, portability, and convenience of cancer diagnosis. That's because, in addition to the breakthrough device itself, this company also has a growing suite of cutting-edge diagnostic tests that are specifically designed to maximize the potential of their patented microfluidics. Together, they form an entirely new diagnostic platform that can do things nothing else in the medical world can do. As just one example, take their 4-component screening test for prostate cancer. It's the only test in the world that differentiates between indolent, meaning slow-moving, and aggressive forms of the disease. This incredible new test can accurately predict the pathology of a man's prostate cancer a full 20 years into the future. What does that mean in human terms? It means that the company's new diagnostic platform could not only save millions of men through ultra-early detection of aggressive prostate cancer, but it could also prevent countless unnecessary surgeries that are being performed on indolent or even non-existent cancer based on PSA test results. Now, you may not know this, but the PSA test returns false positive readings in as many as 19.8% of men who take it, and results in overdiagnosis and unnecessary treatment up to 56% of the time. All too frequently, this conventional diagnostic process involves the extraordinarily painful and invasive prostate biopsy procedure, in which a special tissue-collecting needle is inserted into your rectum, piercing your prostate up to 12 times. Not only is this as unpleasant as it sounds, but it can actually be lethal. Shocking, but true. In the United States and UK alone, approximately 3,500 men die every year from infection and complications of prostate biopsy, 83% of which did not have the most aggressive, worrisome forms of prostate cancer. That means that in addition to saving millions of men from prostate cancer itself, this company's new diagnostic platform could also save thousands of men from needless death at the hands of the PSA test. Like I said, a total game changer, and is not just for prostate cancer either. Of an entirely new age of oncology. But again, here's the catch. To have the best chance at 10,000% returns or more, you must load up on this company's shares now. That's because the word's about to get out on this historic opportunity big time. And that's because sometime in the first quarter of 2017, this small company will be filing what's called a PMA application with the US FDA. A PMA stands for pre-market approval. It applies to Class 3 medical devices, like the microfluidic cartridge and the scanner system that makes this company's revolutionary diagnostic platform possible. That means all the clinical trials for this device have been completed. All the supporting evidence has been collated and submitted for review, and all the manufacturing specifics comply with FDA quality control regulations. After filing this PMA application, the only thing that's left is the agency's ruling, which will come within 180 days. FDA pre-market approval is the final step in the regulatory process before a company can mass, so the time to get in the stock is right now, before news of their initial PMA filing reaches the investing mainstream. Now remember, this filing is supposed to happen sometime in the first quarter of 2017. That means you literally have no time to waste on this one, because all it would take for this small company to go ballistic in the meantime is one sidebar in the money or tech sections of USA Today, one 90-second human interest spot on the World News Tonight, one analyst write-up in the Wall Street Journal, or one blogger to spill the beans on Business Insider, Zero Hedge, Planet Money, or any one of about 20 online forums. Any of these things would be enough to put this small, game-changing company on the mainstream radar and rob you of the best chance you'll ever have in your life at 10,000% returns. And that's where the 2 gigabyte flash drive that I showed you earlier comes in. This drive contains all the information you need about this stock.